Hi guys, today I would like to share with you a topic that I think we'll be hearing a lot about over the coming months. And probably like any new concept or idea in technology, it will evolve and perhaps become a normal part of life before we get much time to think about it. So I'm going to discuss with you today the Internet of Things. Now, perhaps you've heard of this concept called Moore's Law. Moore's Law is in fact more of a philosophy or a guesstimate about how rapidly technology is going to move. Gordon Moore came up with this concept in the 1960s, and he believed at that time that the number of transistors on an integrated circuit would in fact double every year. Now, if you look at this graph, you'll see that Gordon was actually pretty spot on. And I wanted to share this with you because the fact that these transistors have gotten smaller and smaller and are available at significantly lower cost than they were back in, say, the 60s and 70s, for example, we've seen a wave of new technology come about because of this. Now, when I first started consulting to businesses in the early 2000s, we only really ever saw the PC and the server being connected to the internet. Very rapidly, we then saw notebook PCs and handheld devices come about by around 2003, 2004. And now, of course, even in the last few years, we've seen this innovation in smartphones and the iPad and even glasses and smartwatches. But you know what? Without diminishing these achievements, it's kind of expected that we would evolve from desktop computers. We all watched Get Smart with the shoe phone, and perhaps you're into sci-fi, you might even find this next image funny. And when I look at images like this, it does put things in perspective. So many of us kind of expect that with smaller, lower cost transistors and high speed internet, we should expect to see some innovations along the way like the ones I just showed you. But what about this light bulb? What would it mean if this light bulb were connected to the internet? Sure, we could perhaps control when the light turns on and off. Seems like an obvious advantage. Maybe we could determine the right mood lighting based on the time of day or what sort of music we are playing. Perhaps this light bulb and the others in your house might have an associated app on your phone or watch that tells you when they are almost in need of replacing. Take that even further. What if that app gave you directions to the nearest hardware supply store and to the right section in the aisle where you could find its replacement? And using the internet, give you a cost comparison of other nearby stores and where to get the most affordable replacement for this light bulb. Now, this is just a small, simple example, and perhaps you don't see a use for it right now, but the reality is that with the availability of the internet and the application of Moore's Law, we now live in an age where everyone and everything will be connected to the internet. At the time of this video, it is 2014, and there are approximately 10 billion devices connected to the internet right now. By 2020, an estimated 50 billion devices will be connected to the internet. This is what we mean when we refer to the Internet of Things. It's an explosion of new devices connected to the internet and able to be tracked, measured, monitored, updated, tweaked and changed to suit our daily lives. The Internet of Things ranges from the unnecessary gimmicks and toys to the critical areas of our lives, from detecting tsunamis through to medical science and wearable technology. But many experts are starting to wonder what this means for our security and our privacy. You see, up until now, although we concern ourselves about privacy and using antivirus protection on our computers, the sorts of security issues have been limited by our limited use of technology. But with 50 billion devices delivered at relatively low cost, security isn't always front of mind of the manufacturer. Some experts believe that we're about to face an onslaught of compromises. Take the light bulb example. Sure, if someone hacks into your home and turns off the lights, that's an inconvenience, but it's not life-threatening. But if that same hacker figures out a way to turn off an entire neighbourhood's lights or power, then we have a problem. We've already seen some examples of internet-connected smart TVs being hacked for fun, just to show how easy it is to be able to compromise these new devices. There are also concerns that without any sort of government intervention on how devices are designed and secured before being sold in your country, that control from a government standpoint is virtually impossible. The Internet of Things brings with it many challenges, but also many opportunities. And I'd like to look at it like this. If we can reinvent things that have virtually not changed for decades or even centuries, then I believe that is what makes us great as a species. Often in the media, all we hear about is a lack of jobs, a lack of resourcing, a dwindling economy, and a lot of doom and gloom. And sure, there are good reasons to pay attention to traditional numbers out there, but the Internet of Things shows us that we can in fact create a whole new set of economies, a whole new world of opportunities. That is why the Internet of Things is an exciting path forward for all of us. So I'm going to end this presentation with a call to action, and that is to get ready. At the time of this presentation, the iPad is only 4 years old, yet we've seen this type of mobile computing get into the hands of millions of people in such a short period of time, and that is a sign of the things to come. Cloud computing and delivering software as a service is not even a question anymore. It is predominantly the only way that computing systems are being designed right now. In 2010, we were seeing advisors to business still asking whether cloud might take off. The reality is we are now immersed in cloud computing. So all of this is well and good, but how can you take advantage of the Internet of Things? Well, you can start by taking a look at your business or your work environment, your products and your productivity, and consider how the Internet of Things may in fact enable great things for you and your customers. We are on the brink of possibly the biggest shift in technology in 20 years, and I believe that by and large that this is a very positive shift. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank you for tuning into this talk, and I hope to see you again soon.